So welcome to the call tonight. Thank you so much for taking time out of your night to be on here and to learn a little bit about what we're passionate about. So my name is Sarah Klesko. I'm going to be hosting the call tonight. We're going to be hearing from a few other ladies, and I'm really excited for you to hear their stories and their experience. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a mom of two little ones, 3.5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. And I am also have a background as a certified holistic nutritional consultant. And it really is my passion to inspire healthy living around the world. So that's a part of what tonight is all about. So I really wanted to create this call because I really wanted to support the mamas in my life. And I know that some others on the call here really are passionate about that as well. So being a mom is not easy. And from the time we're pregnant on through postpartum and the infant stage and the toddler stage and on, it doesn't get easier. And it takes a huge amount of energy to be a mom. And really how we fuel ourselves really impacts how we're going to feel and how we're going to deal with all of the different stressors that can come up in the day. So the most powerful thing that we can do to feel good and for our babes to grow good is to centralize our diets around plants, around fruits and vegetables. And my motto and what I teach people is that there's no such thing as having too much, and whoever eats the most wins. So just eat them as much as possible. And so our mission is really to inspire healthy living around the world. And as you listen to the stories tonight, think about yourself, think about your own health, and what's one thing that you would really like to improve, be it your fitness, maybe your cravings, digestion, energy, sleep. And perhaps you'll hear something that can be of benefit to you. And if not to you, then maybe to someone you know. At the very least, if you're just on tonight to support and to give feedback, then that is so appreciated as well. So tonight, we're going to try to keep it fairly short, hopefully no longer than 40 minutes. So we're going to be sharing everything that we're about, including some amazing programs that we have to offer for families, some free resources that are available for anyone to use, as well as the products that we share, and a business opportunity that provides choice and freedom in a positive, uplifting community. So once again, maybe you'll hear something for you or for someone else you know. So let's start with the nutritional foundation that we have. It is something that has helped millions of people across the world to help bridge the gap between what they should be eating and what they're actually eating on a daily basis. And it's called Juice Plus. And what it is 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries that have been grown until fully ripe. They've been crushed down whole and dehydrated at a really low temperature so that the nutrients all remain live. And then they're put into a capsule or a chewable for kids. So Juice Plus came into my life over 15 years ago when our family realized that, number one, we're supposed to be eating 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables. And for most people, that's just not happening. And it definitely wasn't for our family. And also just the fact that if we tried to do that, what would that look like cost-wise? What would that look like? Just like, how would my diet look like? I'd be eating fruits and veg all day. So I'm, as a certified holistic consultant, I'm really passionate about teaching people to eat fruits and veggies the real way. But there's big reasons why I advocate for this as a tool. And so I want to share a little bit about that. So the first thing that really makes sense to me is that if you think about our food quality and our produce, it has grown a lot differently than it was 30 to 50 years ago. So if you were to take a bunch of spinach today, it would be 12 times less nutritious than in 1950. So what that looks like is if I ate a bunch of spinach in 1950, I would have to eat 12 bunches today in order to get the same amount of nutrition. So we're fighting a losing battle. And the difference of that full ripeness is so important. So if you think of if you were growing your own fruits and vegetables, or if you were picking some berries off a bush, you would want the ones that are easy to come off the vine, that are almost falling off the vine. And that's because that's when the nutrition gets dumped into the plant. Only in that last 48 hours, when it's about to fall off the vine, does it get this massive load of nutrition from the earth. And because everything's picked early, we miss out on all of that nutrition. So the way that I like to explain this to people is that, when we are making our baby and we have 3 trimesters, what's the difference if we give birth in the 2nd trimester than in the 3rd? It's a big difference. And that's just the same type of thing that's happening when we are picking our fruits and vegetables in the 2nd trimester, so to speak. So the one thing that really made sense to me off the gate was that Juice Plus contracts their own farms, and they make sure everything is grown until peak ripeness. They use better than organic standards. And another thing that's really important is that they grind down everything whole. So even though I'm a really good eater and I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, I don't often eat things like the pits and the skins and the peels. I'm not going to grind that down and eat it. But if you look at, for instance, an orange, 80% of the nutrition in an orange, of the vitamin C, is in the peel. So we miss out on a lot of that. And that's why a lot of people notice a difference when adding Juice Pluses, because they grind it down whole. Everything that's healthy for you is put in there as well. The third thing, and I'm just going to share my screen for a minute here to show this next part. So the next thing that really is important is just the fact of the rainbow variety. Oftentimes when we are doing smoothies ourselves, or if you juice every day, you're probably using and rotating around pretty much the same fruits and veggies that you like and you enjoy the taste of. So what I love about this ingredient list is that there's not one shade that is exactly the same in there. And that color variety is really proof of all the different nutrition that you get into your body when you take Juice Plus. So the fruits and vegetables that are in the blends are selected to work synergistically in the body. So what that means is that with food synergy, 1 + 1 = 3. So if I were to eat a tomato, that's awesome. If I were to eat some spinach, that's awesome. But if I eat them together, I actually absorb more from both. So can you imagine the benefits of getting all of that variety every single day? One thing that I love about the product as well, just as from the holistic view, is the fact that it's not a vitamin. So it's really about things that we were designed to eat. These are things your body recognizes and knows what to do with, which isn't always true of a multivitamin. A program that I really want to share with you guys, and it's my favorite part of this, is called the Healthy Starts for Families. And with this program, children ages 4 to 18 and college students are able to receive free chewables for up to 4 years when they have an adult role model who's also taking the product. So there's a few different reasons why I love that. The number one thing is I'm going to do something for my kid before I'll ever do it for me. So it actually forces me to invest in my health, be the role model, and then the child will get it for free. The company for that will just ask for some information to see how the child is doing over that time. And they're giving away millions of dollars of free product around the world for this. So you can see from that information we've received back from people, you can see all the results there in front of you, but the one that really stands out to me is that 96% of people are reaping a positive benefit of some kind. Our next tool that we have to offer is our shakes. So I have one a day. My husband has two a day. And what I love about it is I can share it with my kids because it's whole food. So it's 15 extra plants that are different outside of the Juice Plus. You can see the different points there. It's vegan, non-GMO, gluten and dairy free, and it's bioavailable. So your body, just like the apple, knows exactly how to digest it. So when I made a comment on the Facebook event about how I get 45 plants into my family before 10 a.m., it's because of this combo. So we will have our Juice Plus in the morning. The kids will not let me forget. They love the chewies. And before they were able to chew, they were getting it through my milk. Through me taking the capsules. And a lot of people too will open up the capsules, put it in their oatmeal or in their yogurt and give it to them that way, and they'll see some really good benefits. Then we just blend up a smoothie in the morning too. Another thing that we have to offer is our Juice Plus Omegas. So this is a really revolutionary product because, especially in Canada, there hasn't been anything like it before. So what it is completely vegan omega. Most of the omegas on the market are fish-based. So this is 100% fish-free. And the reason for that is fish get their omegas from algae. So we've bypassed that middle fish and gone right to the source. It's clean, it's pure. And the biggest thing that I've noticed from taking this blend has been in my eyes. They always say that after pregnancy, your eyes probably are going to get worse. I've had glasses since I was 12. I have to wear contacts all the time, but my prescription actually improved since I started taking these. So that was a huge testament to me that I know that has a part in. And then lastly, we have our Tower Garden, which allows people to own their food source, grow their own fruits and vegetables indoors as well as outdoors all year long. Anyone from Alberta knows how important that is because it's great to garden, and I have a lot of friends who love it, and I'm impressed at that, the effort that goes into that, watering every day and weeding. I have not yet attempted it just for time, but I love that it's completely dirt free. There's just a water basin at the bottom there that's full of water and mineral tonic, and a little pump that just pumps the water up the reservoir and trickles down to the roots inside. So I love too that my kids get excited about it. They'll just reach for the greens and the herbs and eat it. So it's truly been a great investment in that way. It will grow 28 different plants, and it stands about 5 feet tall. I want to now share with you some of the free resources that we offer for families and for anyone who can benefit. So this website, healthylivingrevolution.com, has so many good resources, you guys. We've got about, I think, 5 cookbooks now that are up there, and they keep adding them every season. There's new stuff in there, everything plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free. For me with the gluten allergy, I just love having those ideas right there. We also have live webinar recordings up there for pretty much any health topic you can think of, something that you want to learn about, it's probably up there. And it also showcases some of the other programs that we have, including the Start Strong Kids Challenge that helps kids to make healthier change. And we have also a program called the Shred 10. It's not a weight loss program, but it is a jump start into better healthy habits. And we all know that weight loss is a natural result of healthy habits. So it really helps to give people guidelines. So if you're interested in any of that, check it out on there. Now, let's stop this. There we go. Okay. So let me get my bearings here. Okay. The last thing I just want to mention about all of that is that when I was pregnant, I've been taking the Juice Plus for a good 15 years now. But when I got pregnant, I got really picky and I got really researchy into everything that was going into my body. So what I love to learn is that our products have a third-party certification, meaning someone outside of the company will come to test the product to see about its purity, to make sure that it's free of molds and pesticides and heavy metals, to make sure that what is on the label is actually in the product and nothing else. So that purity stamp is only available on things on the market. For about 2% of them even have anything like that, any quality control like that. As well, only 2% of supplements in the market have research of any kind, let alone good research. So I love that our company has invested to see, what is it actually doing in the body? And so we have over 35 peer-reviewed, double-blind studies that are tested against a placebo, and they test to see what is it actually doing. And to put it in a nutshell, they're finding that it's absorbed in the body just like fruits and vegetables, and it's used in the body like fruits and vegetables. So that for me is amazing. But what is really exciting to me is to hear the different stories about how it's changed people's lives. So I am going to unmute Sarah, our first story, and she's going to share a little bit about her experience.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Great. I am so honored to be a part of this talk. Thank you so much, Sarah, for organizing this. And I'm kind of a new mom. My little guy's 2.5, but when I was gifted with becoming a mom, like Sarah said, this is just my mission to share. So this is something that I'm so passionate about. But rewind to, when I was a young girl, I never took care of myself from the inside or out, struggled with lots of body image issues and eating disorders. And unfortunately, addiction was part of my past. And as a result of that, I had lots of health issues in my 20s, and I lived off over-the-counter medication, Pepto-Bismol for digestive issues, Advil for teeth problems because of my eating disorder. And I just basically was falling apart. Thankfully, the foundation of my parents kind of gave me a wake-up call and said, Sarah, what are you doing? This is not the life that you need to be living. And I just became so passionate about learning how to heal my body in a holistic way. And I'm not a nutritionist, but nutrition and holistic living and healing became what I lived and breathed. And this is before I was introduced to this amazing product. And my coach had posted some before and after pictures of a transformation because I got really interested in fitness. And I had lots of people messaging me saying that I was an inspiration to them. And I, for the little girl who never believed in herself, to feel and know that I was gifted with something was meant a lot, but I had no idea how that would transpire into my life. And I believe the universe listens when, you're needing something. And I was seeing like lots of holistic nutritionists. I was juicing, I was cleansing, doing essential oils, and all these things did make me feel better. But I was still struggling a great deal with lack of energy. I had not had a menstrual cycle in 4 years because of all the damage that I'd done on my body. And I was actually told that I couldn't conceive a child naturally. And as a young woman who always pictured themselves, and a desire and a love for children, I knew I wanted to be a mom. I was not gonna, take that for an answer. So I was desperate to find a solution to get my body back into a stage that I was able to possibly conceive a child. And that's kind of where the journey really took a dive. Seeing holistic nutritionists, naturopaths, you name it, I was doing it. I was spending thousands of dollars and nothing. And my sister's best friend introduced me to Juice Plus, and being the nutrition snob that I was, and kind of really not wanting to hear anything at first, I was like, ignored her. But after a glass of wine, um, everything she kept telling me was ticking all of the boxes that meant a lot to me. Sarah had mentioned, that it's not a supplement. I come from the fitness world, and I was taking so many supplements, and I just wasn't looking to add something else. And the fact that it was better than organic, it was just fruits and vegetables, it made sense to me. And I said, hey, why not? I have nothing to lose. I have tried everything. And within a few short weeks, I was seeing profound changes in my health. My husband actually was the one who took notice to my improved mood. So I'm not really sure if I was just not a really happy person to be around, but I was like, I know. And the only thing that I had changed was adding Juice Plus. And that's just kind of how things kind of started to improve. My sleep improved. And within only 2 months of being on the product, I got my period. And I can't say that Juice Plus did that, but I do know that it has allowed my body to have an environment where things just got better. And within a year, I was gifted with a pregnancy. And my husband and I have a 2.5-year-old. And I don't know how moms survive without Juice Plus. I really don't. My energy has always been, really great. I don't feel like yes, I had being mom. I had mom tired and, mom brain and all that stuff, but I really have no clue how moms do it without it. Because sometimes we'd run out and I'd be like, oh my gosh, no, I can't do this. And, from a child perspective, my midwife could not believe the size of my Jagger's umbilical cord because of all the nutrients that he was getting. And he's 2.5. He's in daycare. He's never been on an antibiotic, which I am so blessed to say, because when I had to send him to daycare, which I'll share a little bit later on the call, I was petrified of having to put him on an antibiotic because he got sick. And he's 2.5, never had nothing more than a sniffle. And like Sarah said, I had been putting Jaggers in, like he was getting through at my breast milk. And as soon as he was able to eat solids, I started him on the powders and the capsules. And this guy's food, what he loves, artichoke, like the daycare people are just like, who is this kid? And same with me. I'm just so blessed to have such an amazing foundation for our family's nutrition. I have not been sick. My husband's has not been sick. He works in construction, and his joints and everything, and the omegas really have improved his joint health. And I'm just a lifer for sure. And I'm so passionate about sharing it with other moms so they can have their life back and have some energy. So that's my story.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sarah. And now I'm just going to throw it right to Alana. I'll unmute you and let you share your story.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. So I haven't been on the product too long. I was introduced to it about 2 years ago by a friend at the gym. And I have a background in health. I was really active, and so I kind of thought I was doing everything right already. So I had avoided the conversations with my gym friend for a very long time, almost a year. I was taking your high quality supplements, paying hundreds of dollars a month, thinking that I was doing everything right, eating well, taking care of my family. And I was tired. I had 2 kids within 19 months of each other. And I was surviving on a pot of coffee at least every day. Eating healthy, working out, on my way to being a better mom. And while doing that, I was just losing myself. I'd get home from the gym and I would have no energy to keep up with my kids. And so finally, one day in class, Maria, she always had all this energy. And I was getting fitter. I'd already been working out for so long, and I could barely keep up. And I was like, what the heck? Okay, fine. Like, I need to get on these crazy pills that you've been trying to talk to me about. So that was last April. And my life has changed completely since starting them. I'll show you Nola. This is my daughter, Nola. She's 4. She doesn't look chronically sick, but she is chronically sick. This kid has had 32 ER visits in the last 12 months, 4 hospital admissions, 2-day surgeries, countless specialty appointments, pediatrician appointments, MRIs, you name it. Her last hospital stay in February, we were told that she would need a feeding tube. There was no way around it. This is what was going to keep her from being in the hospital continually. This was just something that we needed to start to wrap our brains around. And my successes with the product, I had successfully lost 60 pounds and have been able to keep it off. I had more energy. My hair started to grow back and got fuller because I had iron issues my whole life. And so after hearing that with her, I couldn't settle for them putting a tube right into her stomach right away. I knew that there had to be a better way. She had already been on the product. She's had countless blood tests over and over again, and they kept saying, like, her levels and everything are perfect. What are you guys doing? And so I tried to explain to the doctors what Juice Plus was. This is what we're doing. And they kind of were like, yeah, okay, whatever. It is what it is. And so we left the hospital, and with the thought in our head that she was potentially going to get a feeding tube. And I went home and I really made it my passion to continue with the capsules, continue with the smoothies, as she has a bunch of swallowing issues. And her last GI specialist appointment, the doctor actually said that she most likely won't need one if we continue doing what we're doing. So that's really neat. And for myself, I was a skeptic for a long, long time. Even after being on the product for 8 months, I'm like, well, you know, I'm getting fitter, so maybe that's why I have more energy. Or, you know, I eat healthy, so maybe that's why my skin is improving. And in the fall, when things went south with Nola, my marriage took a really big hit too, to the point where we were almost at divorce. So I had a sick kid. My marriage was crumbling. I basically was not eating. Within a month, I lost 10 pounds just from stress. And the only thing I was consistent with was my Juice Plus. And finally, my mom kind of shook me and was like, okay, Alana, you need to go to the doctor and just make sure that you're okay for your kids. And so I did. Asked her to do a full panel, full checkup, everything. And she called me back 2 days later and asked me to come in. And I'm like, oh God, like what now? Like I can't take any more. And she was just like, what are you doing? You're basically surviving, starving, and your levels are the best that they've ever been. Like, your iron has always been rock bottom, and everything was perfect. And that's when I truly became a believer of the product, because honestly, that was the only thing I was consistent with. So we are lifers forever, and that's why I'm so passionate about the business now and sharing it, is because it's honestly changed our lives. That's my story.
Thank you so much, Alana. Right, I'm gonna switch over and let Janelle share her story.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So my name's Janelle. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have a 9-year-old and a soon-to-be 7-year-old. That's so weird to say that my baby's going to be 7 in like a couple days. When I was 13, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called Graves' disease, so a thyroid condition. It had been pretty much taken care of with medicine. I'd taken medication every day to control it. And after I had my first baby, I had some complications when I was pregnant. So my doctor recommended that I have my thyroid radioactively killed. So I went for it and I killed my thyroid. And then after having my second baby, I started having some health issues. I started having fatigue and anxiety, and I kind of just, thought, oh, it's a mom thing. I just had a baby. Like, this has got to be normal. And it just kept getting worse and worse. And then about 5 years ago now, I developed this itch on my back. And it was summer, so I thought, oh, it's just like, it's hot, it's heat. And over time, it completely took over my entire body. I was so itchy. If I put on a pair of jeans, I would scratch holes within hours through my jeans. That's how itchy I was. And it got to the point where I couldn't leave my house because I was embarrassed, and I just hid. And I kept going to my doctor, and every time, of course, I'd see my doctor, he'd give me more medication. And over a year and a half with this itch, I ended up being on 19 different prescriptions. And at that point, I had kind of started taking things into my own hands. I was going to Google, because I was pretty sure I was being misdiagnosed. I thought they were missing something. So what I had found on Google, which, don't Google anything, we're all going to die. And what I had diagnosed myself with was lymphoma. I was pretty sure that's what I had. And it just broke my heart. And just in my head, I was like, I'm going to leave my kids. They're not going to have a mom. I'm never going to get to see them grow up. And it just made me feel sick. And I just became obsessed with seeing my doctor, and he just kept giving me more medication. So finally he was like, I don't know what to do for you. You need to go see a dermatologist. So he sent me to a dermatologist, and I'll never forget this, because I was in the room and he walked in and he's like, what can I do for you? And I'm like, I'm dying from lymphoma. Like, I have lymphoma. Nobody's caught this. And he literally did like this little like laugh in my face, held up a piece of paper that had all 19 of my prescriptions, and he like listed them one by one, and he's like, you do not have lymphoma. He's like, you have so much inflammation in your body that it is coming out through your skin. And he said, the only thing that's going to make you better is you need to find something that's going to get that inflammation out. And he's like, I can't do anything for you. So I left feeling so defeated, and still going to leave my children without a mom. And it's funny now to think, but it really, I was depressed. That was a horrible feeling. I had 2 little kids. But anyway, I left there so defeated, and I really didn't know what to do from that point on. And it just happened to be, a couple weeks later, I was at a house where this lady was having a bunch of different vendors come in and that sell different things. And Michelle Ball happened to be there with her Juice Plus. And I knew her because we had grown up in the same little town. And I was there because I used to sell steep tea. I was there and I'm like, oh, you Juice Plus lady, like, you stay away. I don't need your stuff. Like, you stay on your side of the room, I'll stay on mine. and I spent the entire day like avoiding her. But at the end of the day, I had overheard her talking to somebody, and I heard her say that there was clinical research that showed that Juice Plus reduced inflammation. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, maybe this is it for me. And I went home. I'm like, you know what? No, I can't spend any more money. And a week later, I'll never forget, I was driving with my kids on the highway and I had my hands on the steering wheel and I was so itchy that I couldn't even keep my hands on the wheel. And I was like, I'm going to kill us all because this is how bad this is. So I need to try this Juice Plus. So I got on the product, and within 2 weeks of me taking the capsules, my itching started to go away. And it started going away to the, like, slowly. And I'm like, I don't know, this can't be happening. So I started coming off I was on 175 milligrams of Reactin every day to control my itch. And so I knew if I missed one pill, I knew. So I started slowly coming off that, and my itch just kept getting less and less. So I eventually, over I think about 6 months, I'd come off all my medication besides my Synthroid for my thyroid. And so yeah, like 4 years later, the only medication I take is my Synthroid. Nothing's changed. And I've just become so passionate about this business because it truly gave my kids their mom back. I'm a better mom. I'm a better person. And I'm so thankful. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, you guys, those stories. I'm embarrassed to share mine because it's like I get less colds, but seriously though, what these stories are a testament of is how your body is designed to feel when you're fueling it right. Because it's not Juice Plus that cured this stuff. If you were able to eat those 30 whole, fully ripened, better than organic fruits and veggies every single day, you would feel the exact same things. You would notice the exact same things. But who can afford to do that, and who has the time to get all that in? So I love that. I know that I'm very much a skeptic, and I definitely was a skeptic when I was introduced to Juice Plus when I started to date my now husband, and his mom started to talk to me about it, and right away my salesman filter went up and I was like, nope, I don't need this. I'm fine. But when I reflected on my health, I wasn't fine. I was struggling with a low immune system. I was on antibiotics every single year. Strep throat, bronchitis, pneumonia were just a thing. It was my normal. I also was starting to deal with some pretty heavy digestive issues that were affecting my quality of life. I wasn't able to leave the house without having some sort of over-the-counter meds in my purse just in case. And it seemed like no matter what I ate, I was getting sick. And so I had anxiety along with that. I had gained about 10 pounds of extra weight because I wasn't taking care of myself. And I was crying to his mom about that one day. And she was like, for the millionth time, it's just fruits and veggies. It's not going to hurt you. Why don't you just try? So I thought, okay, it's just a couple bucks a day. I have spent my money on worse things. So I just switched into my budget that way and have been taking it ever since. After about 6 months of being on the product, I realized that I hadn't been sick since I started. And that was enough for me to say, okay, I'm going to stay on this because that's impressive for me. It's now been 15 years. I've been through 2 pregnancies, and I have not had to go on antibiotics for any reason. I feel more health and vitality and more energy than I did when I was back in university. So there's something to it. And if the research, doesn't say it, then the stories do, right? Like, you can't deny those stories that you've heard tonight. I certainly couldn't when I started to hear from the people I was sharing with. So one story after another like that just got me really passionate about sharing and connecting people to these tools, because people were coming to me saying that they were having digestive issues or they were feeling crummy. And I would just naturally be like, well, you should try this because it helped me. And that is literally what we do. So in doing that, I've been able to build a full-time income with part-time hours. And so this business and this mission is equally transformative for myself and for many people. So we're equally as passionate about that. We're going to share a little bit about that, and as well as our experience and our stories. If this part's not for you, that's totally okay. The business is not for everyone. 80% of our customers are just happy customers. So it would really be a disservice and a mistake for us not to share it, though, for the reason as it can change lives. So when you think about the moms that you know, how many moms do you know who would stay home if they could, if not for money? Or who do stay home, but who sacrifice all the little luxuries in order to do that, like traveling or getting their nails or hair done? Or maybe they stay home and they love it, but they're missing that sense of adult community and purpose outside of the home. Or maybe people who love their job and love working, but would like to go part-time if only it were possible, or who would like to bring their husband home from the oil fields and allow them to work less. Maybe you are one of those people. I know that I definitely was. So I was 27 years old. I wanted to start a family more than anything. But we had really, due to finances and our student loan debt, we had delayed starting a family for years. We were nose deep in debt, and we had done everything the right way. We had gone to school for many years to get good jobs. We were both starting up our self-employed businesses, and we were working several jobs just to scrape by every single month. And we had no benefits package. So all of these things were looming in my head of like, how am I going to be the mom that I want to be and be able to stay home with them? So I was preparing to just make it work on the limited budget that we had. And then I was introduced to this business for the millionth time, because once again, I was skeptic. And for 7 years, I just said no to the business. Not for me. I'll send them to you. I do not want to do any sort of business. But I kind of opened my heart and my mind a little bit just to hear what was possible. And it completely changed our lives. So, but the number one thing that I needed to understand was that I didn't have to sell, because for me, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not going to go and push a bunch of people. So when I learned that I already was doing the business by just sharing my story and connecting people to the info, and if it's for them, great. If not, that's fine. Then I started to open up to that possibility a little bit more. And the other thing that I needed to learn was that it wasn't just a hobby thing, because I kind of saw it as like, my boyfriend's mom's hobby. Like, it's not for me. But I learned that by making a big impact, I could actually make a real income of this. And that 80% of women in North America who earn 6 figures do so through a home-based business such as this. So that did get me thinking that, you know what, maybe this is something that I was meant to come across, and maybe I should listen up. It's $50 a year to be a part of our business and own a virtual franchise. There is no inventory that you have to carry. You don't have to deliver anything. There's no quotas or monthly minimums. It truly is as simple as sharing your own experience and helping connect people to the tools. So at the top level of the company is a position called National Marketing Director. And that was a level that when we reached, we were able to get a full medical benefits package. As well, when you hit a level, no matter what it is, there are zero demotions. So if life happens and you have to take a step back for 6 months, you still have your title. You still have everything that you've earned. So that was amazing for me, just that flexibility and choice to do it how I want, when I want, and not feel pushed or pressured in any way. So I'm just going to allow Sarah to share her business experience. And
awesome. Thanks so much. Oh my gosh, I had goosebumps through all those stories. And this is one of the reasons why I love this business, is we just get to meet and hear so much healing and hope, across the world. And I know I have a couple of guests here. I'm from the States, so I love technology. But yeah, I was definitely a skeptic about the product, but I was not skeptic about the business. I had no clue really, what about the business. I had no clue or had a judgment about network marketing or anything. I was just so desperate to get rid of a job that I had kind of attained. So I was working in healthcare. I still do work in healthcare, but I'll get to that in a second. So I worked my 9-to-5 job, but then I would work on call, answering phones, staffing shifts in hospitals. So I was essentially working 24 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. And I had expressed earlier, like I was trying to get my body in a really good place for me to be able to conceive a child. And sleep is very important, and I was definitely not sleeping. And I had accumulated some dental debt because of all the work that I had to get done with eating disorders, and my husband and I had some wedding debt. So I was desperate to look for another way to earn extra money. And my sister's best friend had posted on Facebook that she was looking for team. I had no idea what team she was looking for, but I was like, I'm in. And thankfully, the product aligned with my holistic beliefs and values. But my passion was to help people live healthier. But I had no idea how that was going to look. And this is when that opportunity came. And within only 2 months of working the Juice Plus business, simply just sharing something that I was already passionate about. I was already doing this, but wasn't getting paid. And when I got that first paycheck, I was like, wow, I just got paid for helping people live a better life. Like, how powerful and what a gift that is. And like I said, after 2 months, I just sharing health like we are tonight. Like, this is our work. This is what we get to do. I had replaced my income on this second job, and I was able to get rid of that job. And when I had Jagger, my son, I never envisioned myself being a stay-at-home mom. And I'm going to get emotional right now. But when I had him, my whole purpose changed. And sending him to daycare was the absolute worst. And I will never forget those feelings and emotions of him just wanting me, and I couldn't be there for him. So I made it my mission to never miss anything of him ever again. And I'm turning 40 this year in December. And this business has gifted me with the ability to retire. And I am en route to retire before I'm 40, which is so cool. And as Sarah had mentioned, the community. When I started to make healthier choices, I lost a lot of friends, or what I thought so-called friends. I was invited to a leadership weekend with the Juice Plus community, an all expense paid weekend, by the way, and I was a new mom. It was very scary, but I loved having my own bed, and I took like 5 baths all by myself. But as I left that weekend, I remember I was on a train, and I just got really emotional. I didn't realize how lonely I had been feeling. And to have so many people rooting for you, wanting the best for you, raising you up, never letting you play small in life was so, so special. And I know I've met a few of Janelle and Sarah and Maria, and it's just such a beautiful gift to have this amazing community that you call your best friends. And it's just been such a gift that I want to give to other moms, because I know sometimes a lot of moms, not all of them, but we kind of get lost, and we make it our mission to be the best mom for our kids, but sometimes we forget about ourselves. And people are really desperate to have that community feeling, and it's just so incredible. So I am really excited to not have to work anymore and to stay home with my son before he goes to school, and really excited. I've gotten to travel to places I had never gone before. Sarah talked about our benefits. I hit the top level of our marketing plan last year, and those benefits, my husband is also an entrepreneur, so we did not have health benefits, and he got sick. He hurt his back, and to have that was so awesome, because I think within 4 days he had spent $2,000 at like chiropractors, osteopaths, physiotherapists, and to not have to pay for that was amazing. So yeah, I'm just very passionate about the business and growing an awesome team around the world. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And I totally vibe with you on the whole benefits package thing. Also, two entrepreneurs here. And normally you'd have to like trade all of your time and life to be able to have that security. And so that was something that was so alluring to me in the beginning. Just going to unmute Alana and let her share her story so far.
Hi. So my business story is quite new since I became a distributor early this year. But what I can say is that since becoming a part of the team, the community has been amazing, especially with Nola, her being in the hospital. To have people part of your team ask if you need anything when you're stuck in the emergency room or the hospital room, or them to show up and bring you food and your kid food and stay with you and visit in emergency till 12 p.m. at night. It's honestly truly amazing. You don't get that in a lot of your workplaces. So that's been a really big benefit. And then I also got to go to my first conference just a couple weeks ago. And that was a big game changer for me, because I got to meet so many other people that are very much similar to how I think and how I jive, and hearing everyone's success stories. It warms your heart knowing that you're doing the right thing. So that's why I'm in it. It's changed my life, my daughter's life, and it's nice to be making money now just sharing our story. So
amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to go and throw it right to Janelle.
All right. My business story. So like I said earlier, I had a bunch of health issues. So I signed up for a discount only. But with those health issues, I had used online shopping as a way for me to escape, get out of my head, and which basically resulted in me racking up thousands of dollars in credit card debt. And that's such a hard thing for me to say, because it's something I've hidden for a very, very long time. But that's the truth, and I got to own it, and that's what happened. At the time, we were a one-income household. My husband, he worked oil field. He was out of town a lot, and he was barely able to keep us afloat because of how much money I was spending. And at that time, I had just been introduced to the product, and my upline was like, maybe you need a discount. And I was like, well, maybe I do need a discount. I've got a spending issue, so this will help. So I signed up just for the discount only. I just wanted it for my own product. I didn't plan on selling anything. And basically I just started sharing my what I was feeling on my Facebook, and it just kept getting me more and more orders just from sharing. I was not salesy at all, just sharing what was happening for me. And after seeing my first paycheck, I realized that I could make some serious cash, and I needed that cash. And I remember, it's the weirdest feeling, but I remember feeling addicted to the business. I would share a post, and I'm kind of an introverted person. I don't like to get in big groups of people, but I can use social media to share and talk to people. And I remember posting and then slamming my laptop shut and walking away and coming back and being like, yeah, I got another order, and just keep going. And that's how I just kept sharing the product. And within 10 months, I had worked my way to the top of the company, and I was able to pay off all my credit card debt, all of it. And which also, when my credit card all my credit cards were paid off, I was able to save for a down payment to get us into a house that we had been dreaming of for a really long time, which we're in now. So super happy about that. But the thing I'm most grateful for is that I'm able to contribute to the family and to take that burden off of my husband. Not that I spend as much as I did, but it's nice to know that I am contributing and it's not all put on him. So this business that I didn't think I needed or want has totally changed our family's life. It's allowed us to do things that I never thought we'd be able to do.
Thank you. That is amazing that you've been able to contribute to your family so much while staying at home with your kids. That's truly incredible. When you hear all of this information, you can make a few different choices. The first is that you can just sit on the information and just take use of, some of the free resources and things. And if that's the case, we're totally happy to have you and to help you in that way. The second choice is that you've heard a story, something's resonated with you, and you see the benefit for yourself for starting with one of the products, and we'd be happy to help you get started as a customer. And the third option is that if you're sitting here and thinking about other people who might benefit from this, then maybe you also have a helper's heart, and the mission might speak to you. If that's the case, we'd be happy to welcome you with open arms to our community. And I just want to say that it's just these stories that really fuel me. And the more thank yous that I get, the more passionate I am, the more strong I am. And sometimes it takes being able to look outside the box in order for things to change and get better. And we are all just average, regular people who have said yes to an, irregular out-of-the-box opportunity, which I believe is becoming more the regular these days. But, when I see my kids, reach for the good stuff, the greenery on the Tower Garden, and they're craving vegetables instead of pizza, that is why I do it. And when I get to wake up and every single day design my day and what I want that to look like, that just is the greatest gift of all. So thank you so much for tuning in. We would so much appreciate your feedback so that we can serve others better. And I'm just going to allow people to unmute themselves if they have any questions or want to speak up.